Does length matter in fanfics? Yes and no. So in order to illustrate this point, I'm going to be talking about TV shows, which kind of has nothing to do with it, but kind of has everything to do with it. So let's look at Avatar: The Last Airbender. Avatar: The Last Airbender, like the original series, not the Korra thing. If you want to know why I'm making that face, request the Korra video below. But I'm not going to get into it right now. Okay, so if we look at Avatar: The Last Airbender, even though a lot of the episodes were episodic, all of them built to the main theme of defeating the Fire Lord. And in the larger scheme, taking down the Fire Nation and their supremacy over the rest of the world. So every episode kind of contributed to that main objective, regardless of where we were in the story or where we were in the world or where anything. There was a clear ending point to the story. Once the Fire Lord was defeated, there was really no point in continuing the story. Now, I don't love the comics, but I appreciate their existence. That's cool. I respect the heck out of that. I'm glad the story continued in some format. But the show itself and the objective it set out from the beginning, it was done. Point blank period, it was done. Same thing with Gravity Falls. Same thing with just a lot of different shows. And so I like things that have clear endings. If the clear ending is something that will take a while to achieve, the length of the work that I am willing to accept may increase. So, for example, 12 Kingdoms. 12 Kingdoms is about a girl who gets brought into this other world and is supposed to become a ruler of a land. That's gonna take a while. So I don't care. The show only got 2 seasons, but it could have gone on for 2,000 seasons, and I would have been watching every single episode of that because I love the heck out of that thing. Why? Because the clear ending point that was established in that show that every episode contributed to was something that was going to take a while. Mushishi. Let's talk about that. Ginkgo, the main character, is a traveling doctor, so to speak, and every episode is about him helping a new group of people. The clear objective of helping people and continuing to move so that he doesn't attract anything that might come to him, because I'm not going to spoil, but let's just say, he needs to keep moving. But yeah, the clear objective of him helping people, that's the clear ending point. And it's going to take a while. There's a bunch of people, and the Mushi are not going to just stop existing. They're everywhere. So we know that even though there's a clear ending point, it's not going to happen anytime soon. It's never going to happen. The show could go on indefinitely, but it still has that ending objective, which is the point I'm trying to make here. The length should be governed by the objective of the show. For that reason, SpongeBob in theory never needs to end, and that's cool. Do I like some of the latest seasons of SpongeBob? No. Could it perhaps be going on for too long? That's up for you to decide. But the beginning, they episode after episode I was able to watch without much concern. And so yeah, that's why I really like movies. I really like animated movies because they usually end when they ought to. In shows, sometimes they just keep on going and keep on going. But at the same time, Naruto was full of fillers. So just because there's a clear objective, becoming Hokage, doesn't necessarily mean that each episode will be clearly laid out. So that scarcity really does help. Scarcity may be the key to creating good writing. If something can end, or if we know something is about to end, somehow it just makes the importance of each episode increase that much more. So yeah, I would say that allow the end objective to govern the length of the fic. If you think that the objective could be accomplished in 3 chapters, don't put readers through more. If you think the objective can be accomplished in 1 chapter, finish it in 1 chapter. If you think the objective could be finished in 200 chapters, finish it in 200 chapters. if that's what it is. But just make sure that everything feels needed and keep that element of scarcity to the chapters. But I will say that it's important to know that your story has validity. Everything I just said is kind of supposed to be applied to people who are willing to take a story much longer than it needs to be. You know, I'm trying to tell them to pump the brakes. Like, we don't need that much. Make a different book. You don't need to say everything in one work. But if you're one of the writers who like doesn't trust themselves kind of to tell a story, or who is rushing to try to finish it as quickly as possible because you don't think people want to sit through what you wrote, like, I would really challenge you to do some self-work. And like, not self-work, like, yeah, self-work, but I don't mean it in like a negative sense. I mean it in being like, encourage yourself. You're saying something important. You know, your fic is your space to speak. Like, own that. Be like, yeah, this is gonna be like 15 chapters and you can either sit through it or you don't, you know? Like, own that. So don't be afraid to talk for too long. Like, if that's your story, say it. Like, say it loud, say it proud, own that space. So like, know where you're coming from when I'm saying this advice, and really determine trust your instincts. You're a writer, you know, trust your instincts. Or maybe you're not a writer, maybe you're a reader. Or maybe you're just here for, I don't know, here to hear me ramble. But yeah, if you're a reader, you've read fics, you've known when things have gone too long, like, and you know when things have just been too short. But sometimes that feeling at the end, like, oh, I could have read so much more than this. Like when something's been finished, like when a fan fiction has been finished and you're like, oh, I want to read more, I want to read more, I want to read more. That feeling of scarcity that you're experiencing, don't you prefer that feeling over when you feel like something has gone on for too long? The Walking Dead. Now don't come for me. I love The Walking Dead, but we know it went on too long. They should have never killed Glenn, and after that, a lot of people are saying that Negan ruined The Walking Dead, and I'm like, you know what? I'm about to do a rant on that right now. Let me go do that. But yeah, so I hope that helped. I hope that helped you guys determine how long your fic should be if you're writing, and as a reader to understand what might be driving some of the fics you've read to make you feel like they've gone on for too long. But yeah, so thanks for watching.
You aren't really such a big shot, are you? I ask you once again while looking at you. And again, I'm making sure I align with your reflection in